What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sabacc the Block. I am here, obviously, with Emma Fyffe, but joining us today, we have a very special guest. Her name is Blythe, so let's welcome in Blythe. Hi, Blythe. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
Good. We were just talking about our dogs before going live, living that dog life, and obviously Emma with her anime cats, Death Note cats.
I do have Death Note cats, yes. For anybody who doesn't know, my cats are indeed named Light and L after the characters from Death Note. Mostly because at the time I got them, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, there is, so it's very common for anime, manga, what have you, to be adapted into stage plays, specifically stage musicals in Japan. Yeah. I believe there are something like 25 Sailor Moon musicals. That is a rough estimate, but it's not far off. In fact, I think I am underestimating. But now typically, though, they are like fully Japanese productions. So it's Japanese composers, Japanese writers, blah, blah, blah. The Death Note musical is by Frank Wildhorn, who wrote Jekyll and Hyde and The Scarlet Pimpernel, and he also has a Dracula musical. So it is by I want to say American, but now I'm like, maybe he's Canadian composer. But Japan like loves Jekyll and Hyde and Scarlet Pimpernel. Actually, they did a Takarazuka of Scarlet Pimpernel, which basically means it was an all-women cast playing all the roles of Frank Wildhorn's Scarlet Pimpernel. So I was really into the Death Note musical at the time I got my cats. That's why they're called Light and L.
All good, Emma. I appreciate the explanation.
Really
full-blown explanation.
I just went full weave. It's fine.
I really want to see this version of Scarlet Pimpernel because I actually really like the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Right? No, it's definitely Frank Wildhorn's best musical outside of the Death Note musical, which is fantastic. But to be fair, I have only watched it in Japanese. And most of the English lyrics, because there is like an English demo recording of all the songs, because it was actually workshopped in New York. And it's so funny because like the guy, so like Jeremy Jordan, who was in the Newsies on Broadway and he's on Supergirl, like he plays Light in it. And yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But anyway, so there is this whole recording. Now the English lyrics are definitely very Frank Wildhorn. They're very like rhymey, like not super inventive, but sure. The song slap.
I'm trying to picture Jeremy Jordan as Light, and it's really funny.
I know. It's wild. That does not seem to be the right kind of boy for that part, but here we are.
There we go. Yeah, Light feels, I feel like, I don't know if Light's making a comeback now when people are like making animes. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I see Light in like every character. I don't know. I think I'm the only one here who watches Attack on Titan, but I'm getting a lot of Light vibes coming up this season for anyone who's watching with me. I center most of my stuff around Attack on Titan. That's the poster in the back. That and then anything Avatar and Korra related is like my jam. But obviously, I won't talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm not doing it this time, Emma, but I will.
I like Jujutsu Kaisen.
I love Jujutsu Kaisen, but I feel like I mention it like on every show. I'm talking about like this black and white movie, and I'm like, yo, so Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like so off topic, and I still bring it up. But let's do a quick
podcast. So
yeah, there you go. Let's do a quick turn to Star Wars, which is the topic of today's show, which is usually the topic of a Star Wars show. Blythe, let's quickly get into a little bit of your Star Wars journey / story as far as where you started in Star Wars, as far as like what was your first viewing experience?
So I have been watching Star Wars for literally ever.
Nice.
I genuinely don't remember a time in my life in which I didn't know Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. My parents were huge fans and were basically like, well, we know a few years from now, like this, like they knew when I was a kid that Phantom Menace was coming out, and they were basically like, we're just going to get her into it. We're going to teach her all the stuff she needs to know about all the characters. And then they were like, why does our little girl love Obi-Wan Kenobi, the old man who dies in the first movie, so much?
Oh, you were like,
I'm not sorry.
Yeah, but you were like ready then to embrace our young, hot Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan, who for me, I feel like is one of the first characters that I looked at in a movie when I was, because that movie came out, what, 99?
99.
So I was 13. And Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, I can say without a doubt was like a sexual awakening for me. Like literally, I was like, I remember feeling like I had a hard time looking at him on screen because I thought he was so cute.
Yeah. I feel like that could be said about a lot of people though. As far as like most people had that some way with the prequels, whether it be Hayden Christensen. For me, if I'm being full disclosure, I think I have like a 22-year crush on Natalie Portman. It's still going.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember like looking at her when I was like 6 and I'm like, wow, she's just like really pretty. She's like so pretty. And it took me a really long time to figure out I was gay, guys.
It's yeah, Natalie Portman is that one where I'm like, damn, she's coming up in the new Thor movie, and we see behind the scenes set shots, her arms and all that, and I'm just like, man, it's still going, man. There we go. I feel like the prequels did that for a lot of people, so that's kind of amazing. If you had to, I like asking this question. If you had to like point out what's one of your most cherished or favorite Star Wars moments, it could be like in a movie theater, watching it, maybe going to a midnight screening, or maybe seeing a trailer, any moment that kind of sticks out for you?
I mean, I do remember waiting in line at Phantom Menace at the midnight with my parents. Like we were there. I saw all these people in costume with lightsabers, and like it was the coolest thing I had ever done at my 6-year-old career. I was like, but it was just so cool because I didn't know that was a thing people did yet. Like I didn't know people dressed up in costumes and still played dress up as adults. I thought adults were serious people. So like it was just like everyone is like me and we're all big kids and we're all so excited. I loved it. I ended up walking out of the movie being like, I loved that movie. I was so happy. I was so excited. I was a child, so I get the benefit of the doubt, I think.
Oh yeah. I that's definitely mine as well. It's my first ever midnight screening, going to the Phantom Menace screening 1999, actually at midnight, where it was like way past my bedtime, and I was like, man, everyone's so hype, everyone's dressed up. It was truly like an experience, and that's definitely one of my favorite moments for sure. That's amazing.
I don't think we went to a midnight screening of Phantom Menace. We certainly saw it on opening day. I have really vivid memories of, so my parents also were Star Wars fans. They saw the original films. They probably saw Empire Strikes Back when they were dating, because my parents got married in 83. So that was the year Return of the Jedi released, if I'm not mistaken. 83, right?
84, 83, 84, one of those years?
Yeah.
83, yeah.
83, yeah. So my parents got married in 83. I think that the original Star Wars, it either predates my dad moving to the States, or it's like around the time that he did and he wouldn't have known my mom yet. But they certainly like both liked Star Wars and saw Empire Strikes Back when they were dating, and, remember it being part of their courtship, and also like seeing those films with another like friend of their pair of friends of theirs who were a couple. And so when they re-released the like remasters in theaters, I have such vivid memories of going and seeing those with our friends, the Van Kirks. And then when the prequels came out, we did the same thing. Like we would always go and we would eat at like Chili's or Applebee's, because, like that's what you did. Like that was the heyday of the like family chain restaurant. This was, 99. This is the heyday of those restaurants. And so we would always go and have dinner and then go to the movies, or sometimes we do it vice versa, but mostly I remember like eating first. And mostly just, I think that was also the same time that my dad, was teaching me to flip bar coasters, something that I can still do with a lot of success to this day. So I guess I have Star Wars to thank for that as well.
I swear, those chain restaurants were the biggest thing ever.
Oh yeah.
It was like going to like a special spot, and you realize you're like, I'm in a Chili's, but it's awesome. As a kid, it was the coolest thing ever. And then getting the kids menu and the crayons and starting to draw on the table, and you were allowed to draw on the table. It was pretty.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty groundbreaking. I forget what exact restaurant did that, but quite a few did that back in the day.
Yeah, where they had the paper tablecloths.
Yeah, and you would draw on there. It was a lot of fun. I remember that. Good times, man.
Olive Garden, I think. Olive Garden was like my big chain restaurant growing up.
Yeah, we liked an Olive Garden in our family too.
But I think we went to Pleasure. So I'm from Orlando, so I think we actually went to Pleasure Island when that was still a thing to see Santa.
Oh yeah.
Like I think we went to like Planet Hollywood and then went to Pleasure Island to see the movie. Like we had this whole like funny enough Disney experience.
That's so fun. But like pre-Disney and Star Wars being a thing.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It was really fun. It was a really good, like just a really good day. And it was one of my earliest, biggest Star Wars memories. The other one I dressed up, my friend's birthday later that year. We went to see Phantom Menace again. I saw it like 7 times in theaters. And we dressed up. I was Padme, he was Anakin, my friend was Obi-Wan. So we were all like these little small children all dressed up as the characters.
So great.
Amazing. Do you go to any cons or anything like that? Have you been to Star Wars Celebration, Blythe?
I have. I actually went for the first time in 2015. And then I did Star Wars weekends the year before that in Orlando.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But yeah, I went to Celebration for the first time ever. 2015. It was like my first year living in California. My friend want to go, and I was like, heck yeah! So we went, and I ran around, and I took pictures of all Star Wars Rebels things. And little did I know, Star Wars Rebels would become my favorite Star Wars show.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, I love going to conventions. I love being around my people, I guess. Like I love getting to be like, all these people have the same interest I do and make friends and have a good time.
Super interesting because I feel like a lot of the bigger conventions have become very commercialized, which is not a bad thing from the point of view of, you know, there's a lot of money that are going into these things and these studios are taking these conventions very seriously, but it definitely becomes like a little bit of you go to San Diego Comic-Con to be at San Diego, like to like be seen and say you were there. You know, like there's a little bit of like commercialism to it.
It's a little exclusivity to it, at least.
Yes, that I just did not feel at all at Star Wars Celebration. Like at Star Wars Celebration, I felt like, oh my God, this is so great. Everyone is just here because they love Star Wars, and there's no irony in anybody here about their love of Star Wars. Nobody is here to be seen. There are no cool after parties. It was great.
Yeah.
It was just so joyful.
I've always wanted to go. It's literally the con that I've always wanted to go to and I've never gotten a chance to.
I got to tell you, I was real bummed. I had a really good hotel room for 2020.
Yeah, I actually bought tickets. I went out of my way to buy tickets and everything. And I was so excited. I was like, this is my first ever Star Wars Celebration. I've been to all the cons except for this one. And this is the one I've wanted to go to the most because of my Star Wars fandom and because of everything I've heard from it. But I still have never been able to go. And it's hopefully I can correct that next year. So
yeah, I can confidently say that it is like one of my favorite conventions that I have ever been to. And it as a Star Wars fan is very refreshing. Yeah. Especially because on the internet and stuff, you can come up against a lot of vitriol when it comes to Star Wars. And just none of that was present at all at Star Wars Celebration.
I mean, this also was before, admittedly, when I went, it was before all of the stuff had happened. But I do think part of the specialness of it is that it only happens every so often. So the people who get the passes, the people who go, are the people who really love Star Wars and really want to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like casual, like, oh, I think I'll go to this thing. It's like, I spend time to make sure I am going because I love this thing. So I think there's a little bit of a like, I think that is present when you're there. It's only every so many years people really, really love it, really, really care about it. Comic-Con, kind of, I mean, not anyone can go, but like anyone can pop down. Also, if you don't know this, anyone can pop down to San Diego and do a bunch of free stuff down
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, you don't need a badge to get a San Diego Comic-Con experience. Like you won't be able to go on the convention floor.
On the floor, yeah.
Or to the panels that are in the convention or in the ballrooms where you need a badge, but there's a lot of
so much
offsite stuff, so much offsite stuff.
If you have hookups too, you can also get away with a lot and just be which is something I learned my second year when I was there. I was like, damn, how'd you guys get into all that? Yeah. I've loved, I can go on and on. I have so many stories about San Diego Comic-Con. I did one with you, Emma, by the way.
I know.
That was a lot of fun. But
we had to watch that trash live action Netflix Death Note movie. That was
oh yeah, we did. I was like, what did we see? We saw a lot of things. Yeah, we did. We totally did. Where's the sequel at?
Never.
They promised us a sequel.
No, never.
And we did not. We did not get one. No. I wonder why. But yeah, that's it's a lot of fun. I obviously hope to go to Star Wars Celebration eventually, hopefully next year. I think it's Anaheim, right? It is Anaheim next year.
It was
supposed to be this year.
In Anaheim in 2020. So yeah.
So it'll be Anaheim again. Alrighty, let's get into finally our Star Wars news topic of the day. Since we really didn't have any Star Wars news, I thought it would be kind of an interesting topic, which is the title of the episode, to talk a little bit about Star Wars TV versus Star Wars movies, especially with the upcoming projects that we're seeing now. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because last week we had the finale of WandaVision, which has proven to be another super duper duper popular Disney Plus show. And it seems like Disney Plus and Disney in general is leaning into that. They just had, I believe, another shareholders meeting today where they briefly talked about the success of their series. But I started to question and started to wonder a little bit about the future projects when it comes to Star Wars. So I kind of want to open up the conversation to you guys when it comes to the success of Disney Plus. What does this mean to not necessarily the TV shows we're going to get going forward, but what does this mean for the movies? And the first question I have for you guys is, do you think we're going to get less Star Wars films because of the Star Wars series? For example, do you think we will only get maybe like one film every 2 years and it'll be like maybe just a one-off film and not a trilogy? So if you want to start the conversation, I'll start with you, Blythe.
So I do think it means we're going to get less films in the immediate future. I don't think it means we'll get less films overall. I know Rian Johnson's trilogy is still planned, but as Lucas has said, it takes 10 years to make a trilogy. I don't think it's going to take quite that long, but he's going to take some time. I do think it's going to start being a little slower rolling on the movies, taking more time with them, taking a little bit more care, making sure that they have the same love and same knowledge base behind them that the shows are getting. Like, I think we're going to start seeing, like with Taika or Patty Jenkins, like I feel like Filoni and Favreau are going to start consulting more. I say that, I don't mean that as like Kathleen Kennedy does a bad job. I don't think that. She's amazing and wonderful. Yeah. But I think they're realizing that with the knowledge and success of the shows, that taking that same care behind the movies will help them in the long run. So I think we'll get a couple one-off stories leading up to Rian Johnson's trilogy kind of thing. But I think for the immediate future, we're going to see mostly shows.
Yeah. What do you think, Emma?
This is the thing. And I think I've said this before. As far, and this is more of like a big picture thing, because as you say, like in investor calls, Disney has been very straightforward about the fact that they are shifting to focus on building up the content for Disney Plus because it has been incredibly successful. And it's twofold, because you've got these established properties that people already are invested in. And so they want to check out the shows. But then on top of that, it's a show, it's on a streaming service that is very affordable. So people don't have to go anywhere and go to the movies or anything in order to enjoy that content. And then the other aspect of it that is fascinating is that what Disney has done with The Mandalorian and with WandaVision is recreate event television, something that has been mostly absent, with Game of Thrones being a notable exception in a world where people mostly watch stuff after the fact. In fact, I think that Disney's been so successful with their week-to-week model of dropping episodes of their shows that if I'm a Disney exec, I would consider dropping them in primetime instead of dropping them at midnight.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely probably the next step of what's going to happen with Disney Plus. The more I see it, if I'm being honest, the more I realize, like, if I'm a studio executive, if I'm a shareholder, if I'm anyone who's higher up in Disney, I see WandaVision and I say, let's quadruple down on Lucasfilm TV and let's focus on this. I guess my next question to you guys, because I have a very strong opinion, not a very strong as in like I disagree with you if you don't agree with me, but strong in the sense that, do we think that this is a good thing, that we are probably going to do a lot of TV and then maybe like 1 or 2 films here and there? Do we prefer a Lucasfilm TV or Star Wars TV over like a Star Wars movie?
I mean,
I want it all.
Yeah.
Sure. Here's my feeling about it. I think that TV is the place to go, quite honestly. Okay. And I say this to somebody that really enjoys movies. I love going to the movies. But as far as these established properties go, it gives them a lot more opportunity to play when you are in a television setting, because they simply don't have to make as much money, and they're not spending as much money on them. Now, granted, these are very expensive TV shows. Do not get me wrong. They are spending billions of dollars on them. But that being said, it's still not the same budget as a major motion picture. You look at something like WandaVision. This is a very light spoiler. The only time there's a big like Marvel Cinematic Universe battle is in the last episode. Yeah. And the thing is that Marvel has been incredibly smart about the way that they have gone about these films, because do you go to see Marvel movies for the action sequences?
No.
Not anymore. No.
No. You go because of the characters.
Yeah.
And Marvel realizes that like they have these really strong characters who can drive a series forward, and they don't need to worry about all of the special effects. And with a TV show, you expect it to take time and to have that storytelling. You look at something like The Mandalorian, again, not really special effects heavy as far as visual effects go. They have mostly done practical effects and doing things with the LED screens that they use with Unreal Engine to create the sets around them. So they're incredibly inventive and more affordable. And as far as Star Wars go, it's like, it's more the essence of what Star Wars was, you know, because when George Lucas set out to make the original Star Wars film, first of all, it was because they wouldn't let him make Flash Gordon. So he made his Flash Gordon fan fiction into a movie. And it was meant to be a B sci-fi movie. Like, he was pulling from all the tropes that he loved from B sci-fi movies with like silly alien effects. If you look at the cantina, they just raided some costume closet and they're like, yup, this janky ass Wolfman, he's an alien. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think with the TV and the shows, I hope that they just pick what's going to best tell a story. And I do think for things like Solo or things like that, I think they're better as TV shows. I think I'm really happy Andor is getting his own show. I'm happy Kenobi's getting his own show, because I think as a movie, you're not really going to get the same story. But at the same time, I love movies and I love seeing what Star Wars does as cinema. And I'm very, very curious for what's coming up for that as well. But I do agree that in a lot of the ways the TV is going to be the way to go, at least for a long-term plan. It's a lot cheaper. You can make it a lot faster. There's a lot of benefit to making TV. Yeah. And I mean, as we're seeing, we're getting Oh my God, I lost
10?
count of how many shows we're getting at the end of this year.
A lot.
10,
A lot.
yeah.
We're gonna have
I think they
3
announced
concurrent.
10 Star Wars shows. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
forget
will
what
be
today.
phased in over the next few years.
Sure.
I think Bradley Burnett in the chat brings up a really interesting point, which is fascinating. That like, what's great about the MCU TV is the way that it is interweaving into the MCU story at large. But again, like, so for example, like with WandaVision, I liked Scarlet Witch and Vision in the MCU films, and now they're like my absolute favorite MCU characters, bar none. Characters like Monica Rambeau, who were introduced as an adult, introduced in WandaVision, I suddenly like have this extreme emotional attachment to, because they get the time to breathe as characters. And so I think that Star Wars television is strongest when it's just telling its own stories and it's not interconnecting into everything Star Wars wise. Yep. That's for me why the first season of The Mandalorian is stronger for me than the second season, because it was just a Western space adventure living its own life within the Star Wars universe, which to me is exciting. Like, it doesn't mean that you don't reference other things that we know to exist within that time period. But like, when you really focus on telling a story that is just about those characters, and I think with Star Wars, that is the way you have to go, because there is so much emotion tied up in this whole Skywalker saga that the biggest favor you can do for yourself as a creator working on Star Wars is to divorce yourself from that entirely. I mean, you look at something like Star Wars Rebels, which I, Blythe, like you, feel is like some of the absolute strongest Star Wars content out there. And it only ties in when it needs to, and it largely uses side characters who were explored more within the Clone Wars, i.e. Darth Maul, or created in Clone Wars, like Ahsoka Tano, Captain Rex, of course, appears in the prequels, but is really a character in the Clone Wars animated series. And so again, it's like, when these things are allowed to just mostly exist on their own. And this is the thing, is that like, I fully believe that, yes, there is a greater enjoyment to be gotten out of Rebels if you are familiar with the characters from Clone Wars who feature in Rebels, but you can enjoy Star Wars Rebels without having any real previous knowledge other than like maybe reading a Wikipedia article about who Ahsoka Tano is.
That's what I did. I was not clicking with Clone Wars at first.
Yeah.
It was like, I tried when it first aired. I tried again and again and again. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to skip to the next show and then I'll go backwards. And so I fell hard for Rebels. Like, I love it so much. And then I was like, you know what? Now I'm going to go back. Now I am ready. And then I watched all of Clone Wars, and it didn't affect the emotions or the connections that I felt when watching Rebels. And I feel like Mandalorian did a good job with that in season 2. I had a lot of friends who hadn't seen either Clone Wars or Rebels and were like, now I want to go watch it. They were like, I didn't know. They're like,
it
didn't
for sure.
ruin. They didn't like not know. They didn't feel like they were isolated from Mandalorian in any way. They felt like, oh, that was really cool. And then they heard all of us like talking, and they were like, they went.
Yeah.
I watched Rebels, now they're catching up. And I'm like, I think like something I liked about the way the Mandalorian integrated Ahsoka and all those characters was like, it was enough that it rewarded you if you knew, but it didn't isolate you if you didn't know. And that's where 100%. Marvel is starting to lose me, is like, I wish WandaVision wasn't just a lead into Doctor Strange too. Like, I wanted WandaVision to be more of its own thing than it is. But that's me personally. But I don't think if you liked WandaVision, no one is wrong for liking it. And I know there's a big like anti-WandaVision thing on the internet, and I don't like that.
I absolutely loved it, but it was because like her emotional journey really resonated with me. Yeah. And just like where I am in my life right now. So yeah, but I mean, that being said, it's like, I really do think that Star Wars is at its best. And some of it is because if you think about it, the like galaxy of Star Wars isn't real. It's not real. It's all fake. It's made up. And you can do whatever you want. There are no rules of Star Wars. You know what I like? Like when you go into Star Wars and you just like get a chance to be creative and play in this universe, like that is the best Star Wars to me, because you're not confining yourself to any like rules and logic of the real world. So you like, it's more exciting to explore other time periods and other parts of this world and other different kinds of people in this world, as opposed to just, you know, linking everything into the same story over and over again. Whereas if you look at like superhero realities, it's exciting when they interconnect because it does take place in our world.
Sure. It makes sense.
No. And I'm not, trust me, I do like that the way the MCU interconnects.
Oh,
I mean,
totally.
I think it's great. I just was a little bit like, okay, I was a little bit sad with a choice in WandaVision, but it's too spoilerly, so I won't go there. But I was like super excited because WandaVision is, I'm pretty sure, showrun by a woman of color, and I loved getting to see like a woman write a woman and like get this chance to show off like that. That made me really, really happy, because I feel like the MCU was like kind of lacking on its women, so it's really nice to see them getting the spotlight.
Yeah,
she's also the writer for Black Widow, so I'm stoked.
Oh, nice.
Jack Schaefer, she was the showrunner on WandaVision, which is just freaking great. She's awesome.
I can't wait for Black Widow. I can't lie. It's definitely one of those things where, if I'm being completely honest, I think I'm about to break everything. So I have a lot of discussions on First Cut, my channel, when it comes to this idea of the evolving nature of film. Because obviously these past year and a half, we haven't really had movies in theaters at all because of COVID and because of this pandemic. So it's one of those things where now most studio executives, most studios in general, are shifting entirely to television, to the point that I really don't see movies really standing out much anymore. And to be honest, it's one of those things where if you told me we're going to get a lot more series, a lot more longer story form television, I'm all for it. But for some reason, there's something about Star Wars that to me has always been the highest level of like film, where if I'm going to a movie theater, I don't have to necessarily watch like this really small detailed drama, but I do want to watch a Star Wars. Like that's the one thing I want to see in a movie theater. That's the one thing that I want to see, the opening credits, the crawl, the feeling of like the music sounding, everything just hitting me all at once in a movie theater and not at home in a TV series. That's just me, right? I know everyone's screaming at me like you're wrong, and I'm like,
no, there's nothing wrong.
No, not you
with
guys.
That. It just
but
depends
I think most
on like
people disagree.
It just depends on what your preference as far as an experience at the theater goes. Like I think for me, like me seeing, okay, so things like Star Wars, MCU, etc., like shifting more towards a television setting. And let me be very clear, a really good sci-fi episodic television setting. This is not prestige television. It's not prestige television. At the end of the day, this stuff is rated PG-13. And it's based on a very colorful comic book, or it is about wizards in space. So like it's not prestige television by any stretch of the imagination, but it's incredibly well produced, fun, engaging event television. So to me, that makes space for you to get maybe more interesting stuff in film. Cause like I think of like my most favorite like movie going experiences, you know, most recently, and it wasn't like the big spectacle films. It was things like Emma. And like I am devastated that I haven't seen Promising Young Woman in a theater. You know, I think of things like The Favorite or Parasite. Like a lot of these films were just like so effective to me, especially these smaller quiet films, like to be seen in a movie theater, because that to me really immerses me in what's going on. And like, I have a bigger connection, I feel like, to the emotion, like being in a theater, and they're so thought provoking, and it's fun to go see with a friend and talk about it afterwards. So yeah, like, but again, it just, that is a personal preference.
No,
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the
agree.
middle. I have like I'm somewhere in the middle between, because I'm like, yeah, that opening scroll makes me teary-eyed literally every time I see it. But also, I am 100% the person who's going to see Midsummer and Hereditary.
Exactly.
Like, I want to, but I also just love movies, and I love movie going. So I'm going to go see most, not everything, but I'm going to go see most things and see, like, but I do love the event and spectacle of Star Wars, and I do miss the opening scrolls and things that you don't get in the shows. Like the little opening, I'm like, that's cute, but it's not the same.
No, it's one of those things, Emma, where I'm 100% with you, if I'm being honest. I've talked about it ad nauseum again on my show. It's one of those things where I go to see Whiplash in a movie theater. I go see Roma. I went to see Roma in a movie theater, even though it was on Netflix. Same thing with Marriage Story. I am that weirdo who will go see a Netflix movie in a movie theater. I will pay the price for it just because I want to see a small movie. I think that's
going to become more standard as we move to these like simultaneous releases, if I'm being honest.
I disagree, but maybe you're right. I think people are going to choose free no matter what.
Well, I don't think it'll always be free.
I think we'll see a lot more like Disney Plus premium access, like with you know, Raya and Mulan and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But I do wish I could have seen Raya in a theater. Like, it's a really pretty movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I liked it a lot. I really wish I could have seen that on a big screen. Same with Soul.
So like, I loved Soul. Oh my God, what a great movie.
So good. Made me cry. And
Soul is the exact kind of movie that I would want to see in the movie theater, because it is about that very emotional, like, human experience.
Yeah.
I think the last movie I saw was Color Out of Space. I think that, or Birds of Prey. Though it was one of those two. Was the last movie
fantastic. The last movie I saw in a theater. The last movie I saw in a theater pre-pandemic was Emma, and it was at Alamo Drafthouse, and it was like a fancy, everybody dressed up, and they served tea, and there was a whole to-do, and tickets were expensive. It was so worth every penny, especially given what happened after that. But I did get to see Tenet. I had it screened for myself and some of the other people that I work with over at the IMAX corporate headquarters. So we weren't really in a movie theater. We were in the theater in the IMAX corporate headquarters, which again, like, super fortunate to live in Los Angeles where that is a possibility. And it did feel really nice to like be in a theater again. I was like, oh man, I have not been in a theater in so long.
I miss it. I love going to the movies, getting food, or like, it's like my favorite way to hang out with people, because you go see a thing, you have something dedicated to talk about, and you eat good food together.
Yeah.
Like,
somebody tweeted something where they were like, I miss, like slamming a beer back at Yard House before going over to the AMC and loading up on popcorn and another beer for like whatever movie, which is the Burbank way to do it.
Burbank way.
Or pop over to, like, for me it was the ArcLight. I was like, wow, I just forgot a theater name. I go to the ArcLight, go get some like veggie grill, because there's a veggie grill right there. Pop, and then just go on and get to drink.
The one in Hollywood ArcLight.
I am notoriously pretty much an exclusive ArcLight guy. I know. I'm that weirdo who was like, I'm going to the ArcLight to watch this really tiny movie that costs like $5 to make. Because that's just how I do it. Alrighty, let's move on to the Green Psylop. And the Green Psylop is all about our favorite women in the Star Wars universe. I just kind of want to go around the horn and see if you guys want to drop a few underrated female characters in Star Wars, a few favorites. I think it's easier if we start with favorites, but if you guys have some underrated ones in mind, keep that in mind. But if anyone wants to start, I'll start with you, Emma, to see if you have a couple favorites of your favorite women in the Star Wars universe, which has so many, by the way. I think there's so many great characters in there.
Yeah, well, I'm ride or die for Hera Syndulla for sure.
Yeah.
And also Sabine. They're both just really, really well written characters.
Always taking mine, Emma.
Yeah, well, listen, they are
great.
in my opinion, outside of Leia, they are the best like women in Star Wars. Like they're on a level with her in terms of like the consistency of their writing and having like a lot of agency and responsibility and interesting story arcs. I loved, both of them. It boiled down to them struggling with some connection to their family and their past, feeling like they were betrayed by it in some way or couldn't live up to it in some way. And that all to me is just like, especially because as human beings, it's like we have to confront a lot of how like what happened to us when we were raised, and a lot of it's unintentional, and so I think that as far as like your parents being neglectful of your needs, dismissive of you when you're asking to get your wants satisfied, and they don't mean to do it, and I think that was something that was really prevalent in both Hera and Sabine's stories, like, particularly like Sabine's relationship with her mom. Like she didn't mean to be like dismissive of her daughter, but it was just like her own upbringing factored into what her relationship with Sabine was. And so, yeah, it just, they're just really, really great characters.
How about you, Blythe?
My favorite woman in Star Wars is Hera.
She's the best.
Because it's exactly that. She's the best consistently written woman of all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And she has wants and needs and love and loss, and like she's just so well-rounded. And like you have that episode where she goes and meets McQuarrie, named for the great Ralph McQuarrie.
Yes.
And like she has that whole speech about how she just wants to fly and how she longed to just be up there, and that's like what inspires him to give her the B-wing, and like everything about Hera. Also, she's also like the most put together healthy character in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
She has her shit together, and I love that. My other favorite woman though, and this is controversial.
Oh,
is Rey.
Oh, that's
I
not controversial.
adore Rey.
Not controversial here.
Not for me.
I know Ahsoka was like one of the first female Jedi, and we had Aayla
Yes.
Secura, and you have Shakti, and you have a lot. There are a lot of female Jedi, Mara Jade, but Rey was the first one to make it to the big screen.
Yeah,
and I loved that. I loved seeing.
It's important.
I wanted to be a Jedi growing up, and no one would ever. They always like, you have to be the princess, you have to this, you have to that. And finally getting to be in a theater where the main character is a female Jedi, I was like, finally. And it was just such a relief to see, like, and that isn't to undercut any of the other characters, but like Jedi are my favorite thing about Star Wars. So getting that with Rey just made me so happy. And I sequel trilogy, say what you will about it, it's not perfect at times, but I just really liked her, and I really liked seeing her journey, and I liked seeing this character who just wanted to be good and wanted to do good and was trying her best to do it. It was really nice to see a character who was like, I believe in good. I believe in the good of the universe, and I believe in the good of people, and was trying to be good. Yeah. And I loved it. And I also love Rose for the same reason. Same, like, I want to be good. And I love doing that.
Rose Tico's such an important character from the perspective of being the person who, like, really genuinely of everybody is truly trying to be good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Grandpa Karamba in the chat says Rose Tico all day as well.
I love her.
Can I throw you a curveball, Blythe? Just because we talked about this, I think like 2-3 weeks ago, Emma, as far as like fan casting Star Wars Rebels, who would you off the dome want to see as a Hera? Because I kind of had fun trying to fan cast Hera, because she's also one of my favorite characters of all time in Star Wars. I've written about Hera. I think she's incredible. I love her so much. But fan casting her is always tough to do. But who would you, if you have a name, which kind of leads to our second segment of the day, but I'll give you a shot first.
Honestly, I could see someone like Ana de Armas probably nailing it. She's young,
Yeah,
and
she's young.
Hera is young. Hera's like 25 in Rebels.
Yeah, I
but
know.
Like,
Everyone's so young in Star Wars.
I could see her. She has that, like, she can play that wiseness with that naivete very well, and I could see her kind of pulling off the voice, and also, like, I feel like her accent, like, kind of playing with that and playing with the fact that Twi'leks have like a French accent, and she's Cuban, but like getting, I don't know, maybe I just want more
Star Wars. It doesn't matter.
I just want more Latinas in Star Wars. That's really what it is. But I could see someone like that, or for someone older, maybe even like a Cate Blanchett type, not necessarily her.
Right.
But I think she has that same like wisdom and calmness. And I think that's like a big part of her, is you need someone who can be wise and calm, but also get pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love
you need someone who can go up and down. And I will be very excited to see whoever they do cast her as, because I feel like they are I feel like Filoni will pick the right person. He will pick someone who feels like the character at their core. And I'm very, very excited if she comes into the new the Republic Rangers show.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I've been asking for a live action Hera forever, and I still want to see her. I hope if we do see her in the small screen that we will see her in the big screen for the reasons that I've stated before. I just think it's something special of seeing Star Wars in the theater, and I hope we see Hera in a live action movie. I think that'd be incredible. Again, I freaked out if my buddy RB3's not here, my partner in crime, but I literally was like grabbing him and choking and like slapping him around and freaking out in the theater when they were like, General Syndulla to control. And I was like,
room.
like straight up choking him. And I was like, dude, they said it. So this leads to our second segment of the day, which is kind of like a fun full sabacc, where I want to talk about actresses that we would like to see in Star Wars.
Oh, hi, baby.
Since you already mentioned Ana de Armas, you mentioned Ana de Armas. So any kind of actresses that just out of the blue, doesn't necessarily you have to like fan cast them in a role or anything.
Right.
But just any actresses that you're fans of that you think would fit inside the Star Wars universe. I'll start with you, Emma.
Well, you know me, I say Zoe Kravitz should be in everything. So
nice. You don't have to tell me twice, Emma. I love it.
Massive fan of Zoe Kravitz.
Yes.
I think that she is just a delight. She is the only thing that's good about that awful second Fantastic Beasts film. Gosh, who else? She's the first one that comes to mind for me, but I'll come up with more. There's more for sure.
Sure. Blythe,
Gemma Chan.
Oh yeah. I second that.
Definitely Gemma Chan.
But 100%.
Yes.
It's a great one.
No, mine is Stephanie Beatriz, who I think, I know Brooklyn Nine-Nine is going to come to an end pretty soon, and I think she has range. She's a great actress. She can play badass. She can play sweet, and I want to see her succeed so badly. But that's also coming from a personal, like, as a queer Latinx girl, like seeing her on the screen come out as bi in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I'm like, and then her come out as bi in real life, I was like, I love you. I want you in everything, please. But another person is Michelle Yeoh. Like, why hasn't she been in Star Wars?
Why hasn't she been in a Star Wars?
Yeah.
That's wild that Michelle Yeoh has not been in Star Wars. I was thinking too that like we need like a wise Jedi leader in Helen Mirren. Come on.
I mean, yeah, she does a lot of movies, so I feel like she can.
Okay. She should play Darth Revan.
1,000%. That would be amazing. Amazing.
Let her do that, please.
That's
just
incredible.
Like Helen Mirren is like an aged Revan. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Whenever they get to Old Republic, if they ever get to Old Republic, Helen Mirren for Revan, please.
Yeah. Also, like Journey Smollett. Also, I thought she was so good on the Lovecraft Country. Yeah. And I loved her in Birds of Prey. Honestly,
she's been good for a minute.
any of the women in Birds of Prey, just put them in there. Put them in there.
Give them their own like squadron where they all work together.
Yeah,
like,
Lady Squad.
Jedi, they could be Mandalorians. I don't care, but like give them a thing. I love Birds of Prey. I ride hard for that movie.
I'm gonna say the one I said a couple weeks ago, Emma, and Zeno Hour said it in the chat as well, and that's Denai Guerrera.
Oh, yeah.
From Black Panther and from The Walking Dead. She plays Michonne. I've been saying her forever. I think she'd be amazing in Star Wars. And I'm also gonna steal Brendan Devine in the chat, who I'm gonna do it just because I like her, and I'm gonna be honest, Brie Larson.
I love
Brie Larson.
I would love to see Brie Larson in Star Wars in some sort of role.
She looks a lot like the High Republic girl. They just
She does.
She does. I've never even considered that. That's a great fan casting.
Yeah.
I'm also low key like Stephanie Beatrice should be Mara Jade, but I have opinions on Mara Jade that I think people don't agree with, but I would love to see a young Mara Jade being like a badass spy in the universe on her own right now.
That'd be fun.
I feel like it would be cool.
Grandpa Caramba in the chat says Taylor Swift and Rita Moreno.
Oh my God, Rita Moreno, please,
would be cool. That'd be cool. I don't know about Taylor Swift. I mean, if she's taking up acting, that's a huge burden to carry. If you're in a Star Wars movie. Did you not
see her in Cats?
I did.
The greatest film event of the holiday season 2019.
I did not see Cats. No. I avoided it. Yes,
honestly,
I purposely avoided it.
Broke the universe because I saw it like the January 2020s as it was leaving theaters, and my friend and I are convinced that's when the pandemic and the universe broke.
Yeah.
I'm a big musical guy, and I purposely avoided it. There's also
you missed out.
I know Ryan Tomchek in the chat says Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah,
Charlize for sure. That's like a given. I feel like that's just a matter of time. I loved The Old Guard. I totally didn't expect to, and I loved it.
Loved it. Yeah, me too. We did a video on Gina Prince Bythewood. Talking about The Old Guard, and she's great.
Yeah.
So
great.
But Charlize Theron for Hera.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I also saw your choice get mentioned in the chat, saying Stephanie Beatrice for Hera. That'd be a good one too. I like that.
I like all of these, and I support all of. I just want all of these women in Star Wars. Just all of them.
Zeno Hour also says Elizabeth Olsen after WandaVision. They're casting her and everything.
I really enjoy her, and she's worked with Kelly Marie also. Like they're on a series together. So,
and she's really like if she doesn't get nominated, I will be shocked.
She's really, really a good actress. Really,
she's a great actress.
Yeah,
she's great.
One thing though, before I would also like Star Wars to start going back to its roots of casting like some nobodies.
Unknowns, yeah. I mean, and in all fairness, like if you look at something like The Force Awakens, you know, they were not total unknowns, but like Daisy Ridley and John Boyega were not super well known.
They were pretty unknown, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty unknown. Yeah.
And even Oscar Isaac, who had a massive career, I would not say was a household name until he did Star Wars.
No, I think it was like Inside Llewellyn Davis was where I knew him from. But yeah,
it's the same thing with Marvel. I mean, you know, obviously like there are exceptions. You're like Robert Downey Jr.'s and things like that. But like, quite frankly, and I adore Paul Rudd, and Paul Rudd had been doing comedies for forever, but I don't think that he was necessarily a household name until he did Ant-Man. Chris Hemsworth was basically unknown.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth definitely was.
I just, especially for like a Sabine, like I can't think of many Southeast Asian famous actresses, and I would love them to branch out and find like a really good Southeast Asian actress for Sabine. Like that would just be awesome. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Monty Gonzalez in the chat says, bring in the Arrowverse ladies. There's actually some great actresses in those shows. I haven't watched them in a minute, but I remember being pretty impressed with quite a few of them. I know one of them is, this is a funny little fact. Macy Richardson Sellers is in The Force Awakens briefly before she gets brutally murdered by Kylo Ren. No, she gets murdered by when they blow up the 5 planets, the Republic. She's on Hosnian Prime. Yeah, her name is Corsella in the movie. That's a weird little quirky fact that I know just studying Star Wars trivia. But she's a great actress, and I think there's a lot of great actresses in there, and I hope they get a shot to do something outside of the CW. Not that there's anything wrong with the CW, but I think they would love to be a part of something bigger. Any other final thoughts before we move on to our POC spotlight as far as actresses? Let's move on to our POC spotlight, which today I wanted to do a woman of color. And I kind of want to stress the fact that I would love to see more women of color in major roles inside of Star Wars, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yes, we have quite a few, but most of them either don't have lines or have a few lines, which is kind of disappointing if I'm being honest. But the one I chose today is Queen Jamilia from Attack of the Clones. I know this is a really deep cut. A lot of people are like, who?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I chose Queen Jamilia because I think she's on screen for like 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
But I still think that she has such a great presence. And she really has one of the best lines in Star Wars, which is, the day we stop believing in democracy is the day it fails, which is when they start doubting everything that's going on. And obviously, hindsight's 2020. They eventually voted in Palpatine, which he eventually took over executive control and wanted absolute power and became a dictator and a fascist. But besides that, their intentions were trying to believe in the people and try to see the lighter side of democracy. And I think Queen Jamilia sums that up pretty well. And I really do like her presence. Let me pull up the actress names, but as I do, Emma, do you have any thoughts on Queen Jamilia? I know that's a deep cut.
It is a very deep cut. I do remember being present for a Schmodown one time wherein there was a question asked about who delivered some line or something or other, and they were fine with Queen of Naboo being the answer because they were like, listen, as long as you don't say Queen Amidala, we're good, because she's not queen anymore. She's a senator now.
Now that would be a wrong answer, Emma.
It would be a wrong answer. That would be a wrong answer.
Now you have to learn a bunch of random stuff I would know.
Look, Queen of Naboo is correct. Did they ever make because she had a very, if I'm recalling correctly, like she had the same sort of get up as like Padme did when she was queen.
It's similar, but it's not the same. Yeah,
not the same. No. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a great line.
Her name is Aisha Dakar. She was born in Mumbai, India. She comes from that area. I think it's the Bollywood film division. But Blythe, any thoughts on Jamilia before we move on?
I mean, I remember watching and seeing that line and just
yeah.
It's one of those things in the prequels where like I really like a lot of what they're going for, and that's one of those moments where I was like, I really like what you're going for here. But I was also a child, so I was mostly like pretty woman, pretty clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty woman, pretty costume, cool makeup.
Like at the time, I think Shakti was one of my favorite prequel characters, so that was my like deep cut, who's no longer a deep cut.
Yeah. Shakti's great. Alrighty, let's move on. The next thing we have lined up here is our Squad Up. Our Squad Up, for anyone who doesn't know, is a fun little role-playing game we have inside the Star Wars universe where I present to you a challenge, a situation, a scenario where you have to figure out a way to get out of it, or you have to select what you would pick if you were inside the Star Wars universe. Sometimes we go outside of the universe and just kind of throw in whatever we want. It's the rules that don't apply. But this one, I decided to set this squad up on Canto Bight. Hopefully I'm not freezing too much. I know my internet's been in and out. But let's see if you guys can hear me out here. So you are a resistance rebel fighter undercover on Canto Bight, where the resistance has bought you a way in to a high stakes game where the grand prize earnings will be used to funding more of the resistance technology. There will be a couple things that you will need in order to succeed. The first thing you need is an undercover name and occupation. Just in case someone makes small talk with you, since you are rolling at a high stakes game, you have to have the basics for a cover story, which means you need a fake name and a fake occupation that fits inside Canto Bight. So that's the first thing. The second thing you need is a lookout / hype man to bring along with you. This is someone who is not only going to hype you up when you are playing your game, but someone who's also going to be your escape guide, lookout guy, anything you need, he is there for you. The third thing you need is a real life game to play inside the Star Wars universe. Now, this is a fun one because you could pick any game. You could pick a card game, a video game. Now, you're picking a game that you're confident in, something that you know if there was millions and millions of credits on the line, or billions, you could win. You're like, I got this. If we're playing such and such game, I'm going to win. And this is obviously a game in real life that we can throw in the Star Wars universe and pretend it's real.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you are also going to select a rich person outfit. Now, this is something that you will pick from the Star Wars universe, or something that's kind of a mix-up between the Star Wars universe. So you can pick from the prequels, from the sequels, from any of the spin-off films, anything you want to just put on there and be like, I fit into Canto Bight. An outfit that kind of screams that out. And then finally, a getaway ship, and then pick something. The Resistance said that you can pick something that you could buy. What's the first thing you're going to buy if the Resistance says you can take a little bit of these prize earnings? What would that be? So let's start with the fake name and fake occupation. Emma, what is your undercover name?
My undercover name is it's going to be Gaga Corsican.
Ooh.
Yeah, she is a wealthy landowner who lives in an estate on Chandrilla where they have a vineyard.
I love it. Yes. I love it. Blythe, do you have an undercover name and occupation?
Solana Surik. Art dealer.
Oh, okay.
I am originally from Coruscant.
Nice. I believe it. I believe it. I am. I kind of want to. I think nothing screams like Modern Money like a rapper's name.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I'm gonna be like, I don't know, Lil Real. Lil Real.
Great.
I'm a pod racer sports arena owner.
Yes.
So I own a lot of pod racers who all pay a fee to me, and I just kind of oversee them. I am from Malastare because that's where all the best pod racers come from.
Okay.
And I own a lot of pod racing teams, and I train pod racers. This is what I do.
Okay. All right.
This is where I get my money from.
You are literally made to be on the show Resistance.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Second thing we got to pick, guys, is a lookout guy / hype guy to help you in this game, or to hype you up in this game. Because you always need that. Someone to cheer you on. Who are you going to pick, Emma?
Finn, come on, man. You want someone to hype you up and have your back? That's your boy. That's your boy right there.
That's a great one. Great one. How about you, Blythe?
I'm picking Poe. I mean, come on. He's got the most hype in him. Like, he would be so nice and just hype you up. He's like, bro, you got this. You got this. I love you. Like, it's him the whole time. It's great. It's also why I ship them, because that's exactly why they do.
You know what? I feel like I'm undercover. I need someone who's like a pro at this. Someone who does this Maybe this is someone I can't trust all the way through, but I know that this guy is going to be like giving me tips. He's going to be telling me how to do things. And that's DJ from The Last Jedi.
Oh, okay. That's
DJ.
where I thought, wow. All right.
DJ, that guy who's like, oh, you got this, man. And then he's going to be giving me tips. He's like, hey, man, by the way, when you're undercover, like Canto Bight, they like doing this. And he's going to tell me some tips and he's going to help me out. I'll trust him for this one mission.
He's going to help you out and then slowly steal money from your pocket.
Yes, exactly. And I love, I think there was a comment up here. I think I lost it. Where did it go? I'll bring it up later.
Too cynical. Come on, y'all over there.
It's Brandon Devine who says this is we're playing GoldenEye in N64. I totally took this from Casino Royale, by the way. Where it's like we're funding you in a high stakes rolling game where we're a bunch of terrorists, and if you gotta win the money, you're gonna give it to British intelligence. I'm like, oh, let's do that for Star Wars. This is where I took it from, by the way, full disclosure. Let's move on to our third thing we need, which is a real life game that you are so confident in that you know you're going to win. And what is that game, Emma?
Okay, how good are these people at? They're good.
They're real good.
They're really good.
Yeah, they're like pro gamers, like esports type level. Yeah, these are some esports Canto Biters.
Damn.
This is what they do.
Well, there are no games that you know what we're playing? Clue.
Yeah, you could do that. These
Social deduction, baby. That's where my skills really lie. We're playing Clue.
That's epic. I love it. I think it'd be amazing. How about you, Blythe?
Tetris.
Nice.
We're playing Tetris. It's the one game I can definitely kick most people's asses at.
Nice. So I can't lie. Part of me is like, I want to pick like a random game I'm good at, like COD. But I realize I'm just not the best at COD. I'm just not. I'm not a pro level gamer, and I don't want to risk it. This is for the resistance.
I know. I wanted to say we were just going to speed run Hades, but you said that these people were really good, and I'm only pretty good.
Yeah, this is millions of credits on the line. It's for the resistance. It's not for me. So I can't just play around with other people's money. So I'm going to pick a random game that I was really good at when I was a little kid. And that is SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain for the PS2. It's a wrestling game. It's considered to be one of the best wrestling games of all time.
Oh, I know it.
No one can beat me at that game. Come at me, bro. Straight up. Like when I was a kid, the kids outside would line up outside my neighborhood and be like, nope, you can't beat him. This kid is insane. So that's going to be Canto Bight playing SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. Where the strongest guys were Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Yeah, that's what we're playing. We're playing WWE on Canto Bight. All right, now we're going to go back and select your rich person outfit. Okay. This is something that will make you fit into Canto Bight, and they're not going to doubt that you are, in fact, another fellow rich person.
Okay.
Emma.
All right. Can you please share my screen?
Ooh, I can share your screen.
So this is truly what I was inspired by. Was this lady in the middle in the white outfit who I thought looked like Lady Gaga. So that's where my name came from. And that is approximately what my outfit will look like.
I totally remember her. Maybe because I've seen Last Jedi like 1,000 times.
Yes.
But I totally remember her. That's incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
Blythe, what are you going to pick?
I'm 100. Kira in Solo has this gorgeous black dress,
black outfit. Hell yeah!
Like gold here. It's so perfect. I'm doing that, and then I'm like gonna hijack Natalie Portman's gorgeous curly hair and just go big and have this gorgeous body fitting dress.
Nice.
I love it. I think it's incredible. I thought about this a lot, guys. A little too much, because if I'm being honest. For most dudes' outfits, it's like military dude, one military officer, imperial officer.
Yeah,
it's just not a lot of cool looking stuff out there, man. A lot of it is very not. Just I don't want to be a military dude out there. So I'm gonna pick the homie with the most swag in the galaxy. I'm picking Lando's giant ass fur coat in Solo. I'm gonna rock that giant fur coat as I am on Canto Bight. No one does it better than Lando. So I'm literally gonna jacket from him and put it on during the game, and I'm gonna rock out with Brock Lesnar as my character, and I'm gonna destroy everyone. So yeah, that's my outfit. Finally, we're gonna pick a getaway ship, and something that you're gonna buy with your grand prize. So let's do both of those at the same time. What's your getaway ship, Emma?
Well, I always choose an HWK 290 Light Freighter because that is what my character ship was on Pencils and Parsecs, the Star Wars RPG that I did for almost 2 years. And also, like, it's a good little maneuverable ship. It's not tiny, but it's, you know, it's not massive, and it's fast, and, you know, you can, it's good. It's a good option. And then I think, you know, honestly, like, we have earned a nice like vacation in a Cloud City resort.
Yeah, Cloud City resort.
I just need a break.
It's like a tub, like a jacuzzi on top of like a little spire overseeing the clouds.
Yeah, imagine like a penthouse suite at like a Cloud City like luxury hotel.
Love it. I love it. How about you, Blythe?
I had to double check on the name because I'm not great with ship names. VCX 100 Light Freighter, which is the Ghost.
Yep, I know exactly what that is.
I am definitely that's my ship. That's my getaway ship. And for something I'm gonna buy, I mean, I might actually buy myself like a nice little sculpture, some nice art, because I actually really like art.
Yeah.
Cozy up my cabin with a little bit of like a little sculpture, a little statue that's kind of hard to get a hold of. Treat myself.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. Yeah, I was actually going to pick the VCX 100 because I love the Ghost and I think it's one of my favorite ships. And I was also rocking with the Lando vibe, that he wanted that ship so bad in Solo.
Yep, he sure did.
But I brought along my homie DJ, and DJ is going to fly me off in his Libertine.
Oh yeah,
from The Last Jedi.
The Libertine's pretty cool.
It's a cool ship. Obviously, it's not his ship, but
it
doesn't matter. And for my prize earnings, I don't know. I kind of want to like splurge a little and buy myself something special. I think I'll buy myself. How about a speeder? Let me buy myself a speeder.
Oh, nice.
Maybe the speeder from Solo, the one that Solo steals.
Yeah.
I think it's the M68. So I'm going to buy myself an M68 speeder so I can get around and look cool in my convertible speeder.
Sweet.
Rocking my fur coat and my SmackDown Here Comes the Pain video game in the back. It's going to be amazing. Everyone's going to love it. So to finish off our set, Emma,
yes,
your name was, I forget what it was, Gaga something.
Corsican, which I blatantly stole from the Miles Corsican books.
And your occupation was?
I am the proprietress of an estate in Chandrilla with a vineyard. We make very fine wines.
And your hype man?
Finn.
Yes. Your outfit?
My outfit is a long white dress with some Lady Gaga like hair and sunglasses and jewels and embellishments.
And then your game that you're going to kill everyone at?
It's Clue.
I love it.
Cluedo, if you're in the UK.
And then your getaway ship and first spot.
It's an HWK 290 Light Freighter, and we are making straight for Bespin for a luxurious getaway.
Love it. I love it. Blythe, your name and occupation, undercover name and occupation.
Solana Surik, art dealer from Coruscant.
The game you chose.
Tetris.
Your hype man.
Poe.
And then your rich person outfit.
Oh yeah, Kira's sleek black dress with Natalie Portman gorgeous curly hair.
Amazing. And then obviously your getaway ship and your grand prize. First thing you're going to buy.
VCX 100, or aka the Ghost. And I'm gonna buy myself some nice art for my cabin, possibly a Sabine Wren original. Who knows?
Ooh.
And obviously, guys, I got that new money. So my name is Lil Rel. I am a pod racer owner / like team manager. So I own a bunch of pod racers. My outfit is the giant fur coat from Solo that Lando rocks. And then I am playing SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, which is still the most ridiculous one out of all of us. And my hype man is DJ, and my ship is the Libertine, and I'm going to buy myself an M68 speeder. Speaking of Kira, there you go. That was our game of Squad Up. Thank you for putting up with me, guys. I kind of want to go through, see what anyone else said. Manny Gonzalez said, Malevolence is a cool ship too. Yeah, Malevolence is a great ship. Zeno Arrow says, Ace, I would destroy you with Triple H. Don't at me. Yeah, maybe you could, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was unbeatable.
Grandpa Karamba wants Lando as his hype guy. Says Lando's the guy to have on your side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lando's helping you win because you're going to cheat.
Yeah, exactly.
I love...
Not above it.
Style and Moose says bowling. Just bowling.
Just bowling is the game. That's great.
I would kill everyone.
Style and Moose, I love that you're good at bowling.
Yeah, I should have picked Wii bowling, because Wii bowling I'm also really good at.
Ooh, yeah.
And of course, there's a Wii just there at Kanto Party, just waiting for you. As would be. Either way, this was a lot of fun. Blythe, I obviously want to give you a shot to plug anything. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me across the internet, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all under Blythe Kala 93. I keep everything very consistent. You can also find me on Star Wars Silence in the Force, an actual play that I just did. It wrapped up recently. You can find it on YouTube at probably OK Games, letters OK. It's the first streamed game I've ever GM'd, and it was really fun. And I got to tell my own little Star Wars story. So please go listen to it. It's great.
Which system did you play?
We hacked demigods for Power by the Apocalypse. Since my friend wrote the game, we just kind of broke it.
Sure.
So it was a lot of me just being like, this is not planned, but do it. It's very fun. You can also find me on Happy Jack's RPG every other Monday, playing in a game with Emily Vanderwerf that is a Stone Top, which is another Powered by the Apocalypse system. It's delightful. You take care of a town, and I might marry a fairy king, so it's worth checking out.
There you go.
Hey, listen.
Yeah,
all positive.
Yeah, all positive. I might,
That's what you got to do sometimes. Blythe, thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Obviously, everyone, please go check her out on all those things that she just plugged. Emma, can I mention what you mentioned to me beforehand?
Yes, I was going to mention it myself. So
sure, yeah, if you want to, go ahead. So
thank you to Ace and RB3 and everybody at First Cut for asking me to do this show. For the time being, this is going to be my last show. I just have a lot of stuff going on in my life right now and need to make a little more space for me and to kind of focus in on what I really want. And I don't really fully know what the answer to that is just yet, but I know that for myself, for my professional development, for my mental health, for all of it, it is the right choice for me in the moment. So sure. I've really, really enjoyed being here. But I hope to continue to, see all of you here supporting First Cut because they're doing really great things. And then also to, find me doing all the other stuff that I'm doing because I am really busy. I'm working on a lot of things and it's an exciting time in my life. So yeah, just, follow me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe because I mostly post about everything that I do. Yes. And of course, you can always watch the download on Ven.tv Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. That we're off this week because there's some shifting going on. It's all positive, good stuff. But yeah, so that is what is happening with me. And yeah, I'm just Emma Fyffe everywhere.
Emma, obviously, it has been a joy.
Yeah, thank you.
To have you on. I love having you on. I've known you for so many years.
I
We've done a couple
know.
videos together here and there. And obviously, I wanted to bring that back with Sabacc, but I want people to support you in whatever you do. I think it's so awesome that you are so hardworking and you're always willing to go after what you need. And I find that so refreshing and so awesome.
Thank you.
So obviously, everyone go support Emma. Go support the stuff she does. Follow her on her social media, on her Twitch. It has been awesome having you on, Emma.
Yes, thank you.
Obviously, you will be missed.
It's really been a pleasure.
But the show will go on. We will try and go on without you, but because you are so well loved in this community, and having you on First Cut has been a joy. So thank you so much, Emma. It's been great having you on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we are peacing out. So have a good night. Peace.
Bye.